Thanks for joining us here on News Channel 25 WVTT. I'm Alexa Olson.
And I'm Jeff Angelonis. Good Monday evening. The big story tonight on Twin Tiers Evening News. Winter storm warnings up. Take a look at that snow. And they are up for both the southern tier of New York and the northern tier of Pennsylvania through early tomorrow morning. Allegheny and Cattaraugus counties until 6 a.m., Potter and McKean counties until 8 o'clock. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 inches of snow in the southern tier of New York, up to 4 to 8 inches of the white stuff across Pennsylvania's northern tier mountains, and maybe as much as a 1/4 inch of snow as well. And that's making travel very treacherous right now and throughout the evening hours. A number of community organizations and schools have canceled their nighttime activities because of the winter weather. You can visit our website, that's WVTTnews.com, for the latest list. And don't forget, tomorrow morning, we'll activate Operation Snowflake if conditions warrant, here on WVTT 25 and also on our sister radio station, that's News Radio 96.7 WVTT. We've had a number of accidents, multiple car accidents in the Twin Tiers due to slick driving conditions. 2 cars went off the road on the Olean-Portville Road. No word on any injuries at this point. You can call our office to report any accidents that you see, 716-372-9564, or even post photos to our Facebook wall if you see news happening. Alexa?
Jeff, a judge convicts 2 teenagers of raping a 16-year-old girl during a night of drunken partying back in August. Now, the high school football players for Steubenville's Big Red maintained their innocence throughout the trial, but they never took the stand. CNN's Poppy Harlow was in court in Ohio for the entire trial.
The mother of the 16-year-old victim spoke out for the first time since Trent Mays and Malik Richmond raped her daughter, saying this after court ended.
It did not matter what school you went to, what city you lived in, or what sport you've played. Human compassion is not taught by a teacher, a coach, or a parent. It is a God-given gift instilled in all of us. You displayed not only a lack of this compassion, but a lack of any moral code. Your decisions that night affected countless lives, including those most dear to you. You were your own accuser through the social media that you chose to publish your criminal conduct on. This does not define who my daughter is. She will persevere, grow, and move on. I have pity for you both. I hope you fear the Lord, repent for your actions, and pray hard for his forgiveness.
The convicted rapists, both teenage boys, showing remorse after being found guilty.
I would truly like to apologize to our family, my family, and the community.
I would like to apologize to you people. I had no intention to do anything like that. I'm sorry to put you guys through this. That's just like... I'm sorry, I didn't want to say it.
The 16-year-old girl was raped during a series of late-night parties in August when she was drunk.
The court is able to view the demeanor of the witnesses, judge their credibility, and weigh the evidence presented to the court. The court has done so in this case, and it is the court's decision that both of the defendants are hereby adjudicated delinquent beyond a reasonable doubt on all 3 counts as charged.
Malik Richmond sentenced to a minimum of 1 year in a juvenile correction facility for rape. Trent Mays to a minimum of 2 years, guilty of rape and of taking and distributing an illegal nude photograph of the victim. Both Mays and Richmond will also have to register as juvenile sex offenders. Prosecutors said the girl was so intoxicated she wasn't capable of consenting to anything.
This case is about a 16-year-old girl who was taken advantage of, toyed with, and humiliated. And it's time that the people who did that to her are held responsible.
Eyewitness testimony from 3 teenage boys, all friends of Mays and Richmond, and all granted immunity from criminal prosecution, was damaging. One witness saying he videotaped Mays performing a sexual act on the girl during a car ride between parties. 2 others testified they saw Richmond do the same later that night while she was lying naked on the floor. In the state of Ohio, this act performed without consent constitutes rape.
There seems to be an unbelievable casualness about rape and about sex. It's a cavalier attitude, a belief that somehow there isn't anything wrong with any of this.
Text messages, tweets, and photos were at the center of the trial. Fellow teens vulgarly joked about the rape. Song of the night is definitely Rape Me by Nirvana.
Hey, what if that was your daughter? But it isn't. If that was my daughter, I wouldn't care. I'd just let her be dead.
Witnesses read text messages, including this one about the victim from Trent Mays to a friend. Yeah, dude, she was like a dead body. I just needed some sexual attention. There was no jury. This was a bench trial with visiting Judge Thomas Lips rendering the verdict because this was a juvenile case.
Now, a popular website called Gawker has criticized how CNN covered this trial, saying that, quote, one way to report on the outcome of a rape trial is to discuss legal ramifications of the decision or the effect the proceedings may have had on the life of the victim. Another angle reporters can take is to publicly worry about the promising future of the convicted rapist, now less promising as a direct result of their choice to rape someone, end quote. Gawker says that they think CNN took the latter approach to covering this story, and this has caused some outrage on social media sites like Facebook. Well, what do you think? Join the conversation on our Facebook page. It's www.facebook.com/WVTT News. Jeff?
Alexa, fascinating conversation. Meanwhile, on Sunday, U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer, who represents New York in the U.S. Senate, released a proposal that would ensure cruise ships have sanitary conditions, enough water, backup power, medical staff on board to avoid any future failures. This proposal is called the Cruise Ship Passenger Bill of Rights. It's similar to the already mandated Airline Passenger Bill of Rights. Criteria for the Cruise Ship Passenger Bill of Rights includes the right to disembark a docked ship if basic provisions cannot adequately be provided on board, the right to a full refund for a trip that is abruptly canceled due to mechanical failure, the right to full-time on-board professional medical attention in the event of a major health crisis, the right to real-time information updates as to any adjustments in the travel plan of the ship in the event of a mechanical failure or emergency, the right to a ship crew that is properly trained in emergency and evacuation procedures, and the right to backup power in the case of a generator failure, the Cruise Ship Passenger Bill of Rights.
Well, Jeff, some people might think that being stranded on a failing cruise ship might be the end of the world, but for some people here in Olean, if they're looking to prepare for the end of the world or a zombie apocalypse, they won't have to look far. Worth W. Smith here in Olean has introduced a brand new product. It's the Zombie Survival Bucket. Now, the bucket, which retails at $89.99, has all the items you need to survive a zombie apocalypse. And if you were looking to buy the items separately, it could cost you upwards of $100. Now, store owner Nate Smith explained to WVTT what some of the items in the bucket are. Take a listen.
We developed the zombie bucket, the zombie survival bucket, for any kind of end of the world scenario, including the zombie apocalypse. It has 30 plus items in it that you need to cope with an end of the world type situation. You have a hatchet, a Bowie knife, 3 days of food and water. You have matches, candles, flashlights. There's Advil in there, triple antibiotic ointment, and lots of other stuff. So it's good for zombies or any other kind of maybe natural disaster or social breakdown.
The Allegheny County SPCA is releasing information about a story we brought to you last week. The abandoned animals from a farm in Cuba have been rescued after the owner died, leaving them with no one as the primary caretaker. According to local news outlets, a woman came forward to say she would take the horse, and volunteers from the Joyful Rescue Group have stepped forward to take in the cat. So good news tonight out of Cuba. Bradford native Tim Pecora says he's seeking the Republican nomination for a seat on Bradford City Council in the May primary. His prior work experience includes positions with insurance companies in Bradford and Pittsburgh. He's seeking one of 3 seats open on City Council this election. Pecora tells WVTT he wants to serve on City Council out of his love for the community as well as seeing great potential for the city of Bradford and its residents.
Well, Jeff, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo today announced the appointment of Melissa DeRosa to serve as Director of Communications. She will replace Allison Golis, who recently left the administration to join CNN. Jeff?
Alexa, still to come tonight on Twin Tiers Evening News. Our first look at weather, also WVTT's information overload, and we'll take a look at how stocks fared on Wall Street, all coming up here on News Channel 25 WVTT. Depend on it.